Welcome to episode 1389 of the Multifamily Collective. So, a little high pitched noise there. I don't know where that came from. But this evening, I wanted to talk about rules. And I read this wonderful quote. Well, first of all, I'm reading this book, Love Does. This is my morning book. I read 10 pages out of this book. So the idea is that in 20 days, I'll have read this book in just 10 pages a day. And potentially maybe too much information, but I'm going to save that for a different post. I just had a whimsical idea fly into my head, and I'm going to just save that for a different post. But I've been reading this book. Also reading another plug for the Super Fantastic Me, Gary Gregory's book. I'm somewhere between 75 and 100 pages into that book. I'm reading that just more as a not a sit down 10 pages a day. But anyway, getting off track. Thing in Bob's book, Bob Goff's book, quote that I wrote down. I used to think rules were made by someone else, but now I know we get to make some of our own rules. And I thought this was interesting in the context that many times people, I'll throw myself in this bucket, although the older I get, the less rule bound I am. It's because I choose not to be rule bound in a lot of ways, even though I'm disciplined in a lot of other ways. But a lot of times we get into workplace environments or we get into a community involvement activity or some other organized, structured, disciplined forum or format, whatever you call it, whatever it is that you go and you participate in. And you automatically think that you have to follow all of the rules. And if you don't follow the rules for whatever reason, you're not going to get the outcome that that particular individual or that particular group or that particular community wants to achieve through following the rules. Now, I'm not going to argue against the fact that there are some rules that are in place in certain activities to keep you safe. You should not violate those rules, certainly. Uh, keep yourself and others safe. Don't violate those types of rules. But there are rules in the world that have been man made and are at this point in a structure in a community could be are or could be sacred cows. Somebody's hanging on to those rules simply because that's the way it's always done. That's the way it's always been. And it brings to mind for me that every rule is subject to revision, ongoing and always. And if you don't change the rules, if someone doesn't come along as a disruptor, if someone doesn't come along and break the rules, then you sort of have this staid sort of performance that doesn't really yield anything extraordinary over a long bit of time. My encouragement to you that I've spent 3 minutes building up to you is be a rule breaker. Lots of people in this world became rule breakers and created some of the most amazing experiences, amazing products, amazing things because they didn't follow a rule-based structure. Again, I'm not endorsing breaking rules that would get you hurt or get others hurt, but if these rules are providing constraints or putting in place constraints that are not really allowing creativity to flourish or innovation to happen, go out and break some rules today. Get in trouble. Be a rebel. Take care. We'll talk again soon.